Right then, this is a road test video, and this is for an Alfa Romeo. It's a 1.6 diesel Giulietta Veloce. The car is registered EA11HPN, and mileage currently showing on the car is 102,622 miles. The reason we do these videos, and this is a case in point actually, is basically so that if anyone is looking online at any of our cars, they actually get to see the cars we're advertising in operation. That basically gives us opportunity to feedback on any issues that might be on a car, so people know about it before they come to us. So, coming to this car, this car's come as a part exchange to us. We deal predominantly in Honda cars, which is what they bought from us, and some Lexus cars, so that's our main stock, but obviously we do take the odd part exchange in. So going through the car for you, because there's a couple of things on the car which forms the basis of how we're selling the vehicle, because it's much cheaper than it should be for the type of car it is, and we're well aware of that. I'll go through all of the bits for you. So starting the car, engine starts straight away. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car. And temperature gauge looks like it's running about, I'm guessing, sort of about 85 degrees, just under the halfway point, which according to Google is exactly where it's meant to be. The engine pulls very well, I have to say. Very quiet, very smooth. It's a very pleasant diesel to use, in all honesty. And again, I know people who have these, they're particularly good on fuel as well. But in terms of the way the car drives, it drives absolutely beautifully, engine-wise, certainly. Engine then feeds through into clutch and gearbox. Clutch on the car, the actuation's fine, positive, bite point's good. It's very smooth in operation. And gearbox likewise, very slick indeed. All the gears, 6-speed gearbox of course, feels nice and tight in every single gear. The selection on every gear is absolutely spot on. That brings me to the first point, because there's only a couple of things on the car. Basically, driving along, it feels absolutely fine. I'm being really fussy, by the way, but on and off the throttle, although I can hardly hear it today, in all honesty, I could just feel a slight noise, possibly from the right-hand side on the front of the car, but maybe sort of drive shaft noise. I thought it might be clutch noise, but when you depress the clutch, it kind of goes, but because it's so faint, it's hard to tell. But then I noticed when you back on and off the throttle and don't do the dip the clutch, it goes away as well. Most people, I'm going to be brutally honest with you, wouldn't even hear it. It's so faint, but the point of what we do as a garage is to try and be as straightforward and honest with people as we can. But it is, as I said, it's minuscule, but it's there. So people need to be aware of that, and obviously that's how the car is being sold. And up at speed, you can't hear anything at all, by the way. Steering on the car, really good. It's very tight, typical Alfa. It's nice and quick, very direct. Track's nice and straight. There's no vibrations at all at this speed, or certainly any speed up to the legal limit. Speeds I've driven the car at as well. But all feels very kind of tight in that respect. Suspension wise, there's a particularly nasty bump about to go over any second now, and what I'm listening out for particularly on that bump is any kind of rattling or knocking noises coming from the suspension, and again nothing. It feels very tight on the road, I have to say. It just doesn't feel loose in any way. Some older cars with a few miles can just feel a little bit as though they kind of lost their edge, and this one doesn't at all. It feels absolutely fine. Brakes on the car, just make sure you get around the corner a second. I'm going to give them a bit of a shove, make sure no one is directly behind me. But it's a good solid brake pedal on the car. What I'm looking for in particular is just basically any signs of any kind of pulsing or vibrations coming back through the brake pedal, and there's nothing at all on there, so it all seems good. So coming inside the vehicle, it's been kept very, it just could do with it clean, basically. I mean, actually, it is very clean, I think, but it's in good condition. There's no squeaks, no rattles. I've not gone through every single last control on the vehicle, and I know that all the electric windows work, electric wing mirrors work. I checked all those. They're the obvious things to check, of course. I'm sure there must be little sort of sub menus, or I haven't checked things like HFT and things like that. Say radio works absolutely as it should. The only thing I've found, and this is the only other thing on the car, is the air conditioning isn't pumping out any cold air, and that could be something as simple as regassing, but it might not be, and again, it's not something we'll be attending to, but we just like to flag up anything we possibly can on the car. But I have to say, very, very pleasant car to drive, really, really nice. But aside from those two issues, said they are very minor, but it is important that we highlight that to people. And the other reason, of course, that the car is over £1,000 cheaper than it realistically should be, is it's got a relatively short MOT. It's due in a month or so's time. So we anticipate on any car this age that money would need to be spent on MOT, so that has to be factored in, and that's why we're offering at that price, because it's not something we'll be attending to given the workload we've got currently with our own vehicles. Having said that, all of that, if you've got any questions, don't hesitate, do give us a call.